All right, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, sports fans from all over. Do us a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, do all of that thing. Remember to comment. We're going to be pulling up the live stream here from the debate. We're going to be monitoring that on and off throughout the evening. They're just coming on stage now, so we're going to pull them up here. Woo, right now,
and
here
when
they
the
are
time runs
somewhere.
out, we all will hear this.
There they're on stage. We're going to listen to hear what's going on here as they kick off the beginning. We'll just listen to the beginning of this. We got some local stuff and some national stuff to talk about tonight. So let's listen to what's going on here for a moment.
President Joe Biden is working to convince the country that with Bidenomics, things are looking up.
They call my plan Bidenomics. I'm not sure they meant it in a totally complimentary way at the time. But guess what? It's working.
But is it? More than 65% of Americans say the country is headed in the wrong direction. And here's the reality for some voters we talked to here in Wisconsin this week.
We have noticed a dramatic increase in prices at the grocery store just across the board.
Gas is high and food is high. A lot of people's out here homeless because they can't buy food.
It's tough when you got mortgage rates at 7-8% versus 2 to 3. It's just you can't afford the house anymore.
Inflation is ridiculous. It's killing us out here.
As we sit here tonight, the #1 song on the Billboard chart is called Rich Men North of Richmond. It is by a singer from Farmville, Virginia, named Oliver Anthony. His lyrics speak of alienation, of deep frustration with the state of government and of this country. Washington, D.C. is about 100 miles north of Richmond.
These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just want to have total control. Want to know what you think, want to know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. Cause the rich men, cause the rich men.
So, Governor DeSantis, why is this song striking such a nerve in this country right now? What do you think it means?
Our country is in decline. This decline is not inevitable. It's a choice. We need to send Joe Biden back to his basement and reverse American decline. And it starts with understanding we must reverse Bidenomics so that middle-class families have a chance to succeed.
And I have an unpopular take here.
As a country.
I don't like
If
that
you are
song.
working hard and you can't afford groceries, a car, or a new home.
Not because I don't like the words. I just think it's
on lousy paintings.
I think it's a
That is
shitty
wrong.
song.
We also cannot succeed when
The lyrics aren't any
Congress spends
good.
trillions and trillions of dollars.
The cadence.
Those rich men north of Richmond have put us in this situation. And finally, we
making
need to lower
issues
your
from this
gas
song.
prices. We're going to open up all energy production. We will.
This is
be
truly
energy dominant
idiocracy,
again in
folks.
this country. I showed it could be done in the state of Florida. I pledge to you as your president, we will get the job done, and I will not let you down.
I will not let you down until I do.
Governor Christie, do you agree with Governor DeSantis just said there? And why would you be better on the economy?
Oh, God, Chris Christie.
Well, look, I
Dude.
do agree predominantly with what Governor DeSantis just laid out. And I think that if you asked every one of us up here, that we would agree predominantly with what he just laid out. Here's the difference. The difference is that we're going to have to work and make sure that we sell these ideas. And be able to put ourselves in a position where we get a majority of the vote, not only by winning the Congress and the Senate in 24, but also
I'm going to tell you right now.
someone who's had the experience of doing
I'm going to tell you right now.
Now, I was elected as a conservative.
None of these 8 people are going to be president of the United States of
With
America.
a Democratic legislature against me the entire time.
I said it right here, right now.
Strong decision making.
It is
brought them around to our point of view. We cut taxes
23rd
in New Jersey.
of August.
We cut debt in New Jersey. We made
2023.
sure that each and every time we were confronted with bad democratic ideas, we stood and stopped them. And when there were good
None of these
ideas, we
8
brought
people will be
together
president of the
to make
United States of
progress going
America.
Forward.
This
Truth
go
and
round.
accountability are the things we need to do to fight waste. And I'd say the last thing is this, Brett. We cannot sit by any longer and allow the kind of spending that's going on in Washington, because every dollar they spend is a dollar that these people are not allowed to spend on their children and their grandchildren. It's robbing our country, and it's wrong.
Well, Governor, let me just follow up very quickly. New Jersey, when you were governor, had the second lowest credit rating in the nation after Illinois, and it was downgraded 11 times.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what happens when you inherit a blue state that has done that. But when you look at what we did on debt, Brett, in that state, we cut debt in that state, debt that had been left to us by 3 Democratic gubernatorial predecessors of mine who ran up that debt tremendously. And what you also saw us do was to cut the unemployment rate.
We've got some Muncie news
was
to
over
talk about
10% when I
tonight.
became governor in 2010. What we also did was cut pension payments to public employees to make sure that taxpayers were not being soaked by a
Henry
public
County
employee
news
union system that was killing
and these
the
idiots.
taxpayer.
Thank you, Governor.
Senator Scott, excuse me. The song also goes after welfare
God,
programs.
we're still talking about the song.
As a senator, now President Biden argued for freezing federal spending, this was back in the 80s, and dealing with sacred cows. He does not talk about that anymore. You have been a senator, though, for 10 years. So what have you done to rein in the increasing size of government?
Well, thank you for the question. Over the last several years, I've had an opportunity to vote against spending package after spending package after spending package. What we also need to understand is that Joe Biden's Bidenomics has led to the loss of $10,000
right now for janitor.
Power.
I wouldn't even let him be
family.
janitor.
When you see 16% inflation, your gas is up 40%, your food is up 20%, your electricity is up 20%.
I did watch the Henry County footage.
Stop that by turning the spigot off in Washington, sending the money back to the states, and allowing the decisions to be made at their own houses. I helped write the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act in 2017. We cut taxes for a single mom, like the one that raised me, by 70%. For dual households by 60%, returning to the average family $4,000.
Yeah, we'll have a whole lot on that here in a bit.
Send it to Washington, we can't spend it. That's good.
I'm gonna see how long of this, how much of this I can take. I'll tell you, you guys let me know. I'll let the viewers, you guys vote, and it's gonna come down to who comments. What do you care more about? Do you want to shut up and watch this, or do you want to hear about what's going on in Muncie and that stuff? Because I can go either way.
Record low unemployment.
You guys make the call.
For the majority of the population, 70-year low for women. African Americans, Hispanics, and Asians had a all-time low, but our inflation was at 2%. Under Joe Biden, we've seen the exact opposite. We've seen inflation explode, which led to 12 Federal Reserve increases. That's devastating home buyers today.
Steven says enough of this.
Mr. Ramaswamy, you're listening to these answers.
If I may,
hold on one second.
Nullfoot says enough of this.
He didn't mention
Jeff says this is a joke.
Mr. Vice President, Mr.
Road
Ramaswamy,
Warrior says I'd like to hear about the
listening to
SNG
all of
shooting.
this, why should voters choose you over more experienced politicians on this stage? You're basically, a blank slate for people. You're 38 years old. You've said
there's my
you
guy.
in 2 presidential
I like
before
Vivek,
this moment,
but
this political race.
So first, let me just address a question that is on everybody's mind at home tonight.
I like Vivek, but
who the heck is this skinny guy with a funny last name, and what the heck is he doing in the middle of this debate stage? I'll tell you, I'm not a politician, Brett. You're right about that. I'm an entrepreneur.
God.
My parents came to this country with no money 40 years ago. I have gone on to found multi-billion-dollar companies. I did it while marrying my wife, Apurva, raising our 2 sons, following our faith in God. That is the American dream. And I am genuinely worried that that American dream will not exist for our 2 sons.
I'm not talking about it tonight.
Unless we do something about it. And I do think Brett is going to take an outsider. Because for a long time, we have professional politicians in the Republican Party who have been
Guess there's nothing better for presidential candidates to talk about.
To start running to something.
All right, I'm not seeing it all yet.
What it means to be an American today.
There's 30 people in here. Let me know. You guys need to tell me.
People who broke it again. You hand it over
I just need a couple more people to tell me to turn this shit off. I can cover this in 15 minutes tomorrow after I go back through and watch it.
To turn around this economy that we've heard all of these voters talking about tonight.
I think you guys are going to be disappointed in me.
Nationally right now, he's beating you in the polls.
Well, I don't care about polls. What I care about fact is,
hit one to listen to these idiots. Hit two to talk about local shit.
Didn't do this to us. Our Republicans did this to us too.
One or two.
When they passed that $2.2 trillion COVID stimulus bill, they left us with 90 million people on Medicaid, 42 million people on food stamps. No one has told you how to fix it.
I think they've spoken. Yeah,
The two has spoke. Well, I'll leave it up there in the comment. I'm going to be watching the comments over here of what's going on. And I mean, I care very much about what's going on, but I care. This is your show, y'all. So I will play to the crowd. I'll watch this nonsense. And Tucker and Trump already have over 21 million viewers. I know! All of those people need to be here instead. Brandon says 3. That's my guy, Brandon. All right. 3 is turn everything off and go to bed. Okay. So, here's the deal. We've got Muncie to talk about. I got a records request back from Muncie about the YMCA. I went to the sheriff's department today and I met with Chief Deputy Smith and we reviewed video footage, and I will say he was very accommodating. And that I was happy with that. And we have Board of Works meeting to talk about for Muncie, but I know a bunch of you are wanting to know what's going on with Henry County, and I have been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for this. And you guys have been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for this. And I feel like absolute shit about it. Because, so here's what happened. I'm going to walk you through a little bit of what happened today. I get to the Henry County Sheriff's Department. Go in, I meet Sheriff, Chief Deputy Sheriff Josh Smith at the door. And we have a good talk. I want to say he was very accommodating. He's been like a lot of other of the law enforcement officials that I have dealt with in Henry County. He was very kind. He wanted to make sure that all of my questions were answered. And he was very cool. He set us up in the same room that we were in that interview when Josh and I went to the Henry County Sheriff's Department when Sproles did the town marshal's interview. He set us up in there, and they had the great big projector screen pulled down. It looked like a great big movie screen. They had it pulled down in the front. And so what they did was they projected the footage of the videos on this screen, and I watched it. And when I went in there, he told me that he had all 18 videos with him, and that they were prepared. He was prepared to sit there all day and us go through all of this. He said he kind of walked me through a little bit of the story with this inmate from his perspective. And I understand that he's law enforcement, obviously. So they have a perspective. I'm sure the inmate has a different perspective and whatnot. And then he said he would let me decide. Yeah, there was no beer and popcorn. He did offer me water, though. I took in my own water, but he did offer me something to drink. So yeah, I guess I didn't ask him. It could have been a beer. I don't know. But he didn't say. I would think probably not. But anyhow, so he told me that he would allow me to choose whichever video that I wanted to start with, but he wanted to kind of give me an outline of what each video was. I said, okay, that's perfectly fine. I'm down with that. So I want to walk you guys through this. I'm going to be really honest. We're going to have to cover this today and tomorrow. All right. I'm just going to be upfront and honest and tell you. This is going to be something where we're not going to get all of this out tonight. And part of it is because I want to be able to provide you guys the best quality possible. And I'll explain to you what the situation is here in a minute. But there's no problem with me telling you the outline of the situation. So this event occurred back on the 6th of July. And how the Henry County Sheriff's Department is set up, how the jail is set up, essentially. They have, I don't know how many blocks they have. The block that this guy was housed in general population was E block. So, does that lead me to believe that there's an A block, a B block, a C block, a D block, an E block? Yeah, maybe. I don't know if there's an F block. I don't know how many of those there are. But basically, they have this set up to where they are there's a control room. There's basically 2 control rooms. There's a room. There's 7. All right. That makes sense. I didn't take a tour of this. I just saw this from the footage that I watched. And this gentleman was in E block. Okay. He's in there with other people. He was in general population. When you walk into the block, you walk into a big open room. There's a TV on the wall. It's, cement walls. And then there are individual cells down below. You walk up the stairs, and then there's individual cells upstairs. His cell was upstairs, and during the day, the people can come out and they can be, in or around wherever they're at. He is on some kind of a lockdown, and I don't know what this lockdown is for. I'm going to have to go back and look this up. This has taken so long, I've kind of forgot. But he's literally in a position where he's being locked down like 22 or 23 hours a day. So when they get him out to let him out for his 1 or 2 hours out that he's out a day, they notice that he has 2 blankets in his holding cell, in his cell, and that is a problem. So they're talking about it, and one of the COs has a body camera, and he turns the body camera on almost instantly. From the point that they start to have some kind of an issue or start having this discussion, he turns his body camera on almost instantly. And I got to tell you, God bless this man for doing that. Okay? Absolutely. Wait, why is he going to be mad? Who are you talking about? Josh who? What are you talking about, Joey? So, and why are you saying, oh no, Diane? So, they're in there talking about this, and one of the guys, the guy with the body camera, goes and tries to, because of the blankets, I get it. Yeah, right. So, the guy with the body camera goes and says to this man, hey, we need your blanket. And inside the general population, I don't know if it's because of their air conditioning, but it is so loud. It is so loud in there, the body camera. You can almost not hear anything that they are saying to each other. You can't hardly hear anything that the inmate is saying. And so he's in there and they're doing their thing. And he, the CO comes back almost instantly, and he walks back into the area and he tells the other coworkers in there, he said, my life's not worth a blanket. You get the feeling that this guy told him, you know, you can get it if you want to go in there and get it. Basically, he was tempting him. Now, I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to be really serious when I say this. As I sit here tonight with everything that I watched, everything that I saw, this man, the inmate, did not deserve what happened to him. He did not deserve what happened to him. All right? Get that straight. He should have been treated better. They should have handled themselves differently. And everything was 1,000% with the shooting of the beanbags handled improperly. That being said, I am absolutely going to tell you guys this guy was being an asshole. This guy was pushing boundaries, and basically, this is the situation. The corrections officers in this jail are all relatively new. They're all relatively young and inexperienced. They're not paid very much, and so they're kind of in a bad situation. Most of these people haven't been working in a jail or prisons very long, and so they are intimidated by various actions or whatnot. And this guy knew that he was intimidating them, okay? And he was doing that on purpose. He kept pushing the envelope. Now, I'm going to tell you, from my past training and experience, I know that a lot of times what these people will do that act like this, what they're wanting to do is, this guy was waiting to go to the DOC, I believe, or something like that. He was wanting to be sent to the DOC. He did not want to go. He did not want to go. He did not want to stay at the county level. And anyone who's ever been in jail or been in prison or done time will tell you, anyone that's ever worked around this will tell you that inmates that can be at the DOC rather than being in county, they would rather be at the DOC because it's better. They're treated better. The food is better. Things are better all the way around. So this guy was wanting to be sent out of the Henry County Jail. He did not want to be at Henry County. And I absolutely don't blame him. So as his actions went on in the general population area, it progressed. They had a mop that was left in the general population, they normally will leave a mop in there, which I was kind of shocked by that. Because to me, I'm like thinking, well, wait a minute. Don't you get a Jeffrey Dahmer situation? I mean, can't you use a mop to strangle and choke someone out and crush their throat? Can't you break that and use it as sticks to beat people? You know, like I'm thinking like, man, that seems like an absolute dangerous thing to leave in the room. But you know, they say, we don't have problems. You know, most of our people aren't violent, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So they leave this in there. Well, he comes downstairs, and I don't know where everyone else was in his, in the area, okay? But he was the only person in this general population area. Other people might have been, I don't know if they were, you know, it was like 11 o'clock. I don't know where they were. I don't know if they were at some kind of a lunch. I don't know if they were in maybe various classes or visitation. I don't know what the situation was, but they were not there in his area with him. He went downstairs. He gets this mop and he breaks the mop. All right. So he breaks the mop off, the mop head off of it. And now he's just got a stick. All right. Well, one, he's just broke county property. So that's a problem. All right. Not a problem worth getting beanbagged over. All right. I'm not saying that. But he's broken county property. And now he's got a possible weapon, a security risk. No one's in there with him. He's not hurting anyone else. He's not hurting inmates. He's not a threat to inmates currently at that time. And he's not a threat to COs at that time. Now, if COs go in there with him, he could have been a threat, but that hadn't happened. All right. So, yeah, right, Stumblefoot. So he takes that mop handle that he has and he proceeds to start beating the TV that's on the wall with it. He's beating the TV with it, just doing random tomfoolery bullshit that he knew he shouldn't have been doing. All right. Whoa. Wait. We're not, we're well before the beanbag. Hold on. Don't jump to any conclusions here yet. Let me walk you down this path because he didn't, we got to get to that. We got to get there before you, no, hold on. Don't jump to conclusions here because we got to get there. There's a lot of nuance to this story. And this is why I screwed up. Because I did the same thing that you kind of did, and I'll explain why. So we see him in there, and he's beating on the TV, and he goes around to the back of the TV, and he starts unplugging and breaking the cords and pulling the cords out of the wall and out of the TV with the stick. And they're like not being able to mess with the TV from in the control room, which they're trying. And they're like, he's just, he's made it non-operational. So now he's causing some actual issue to stuff in there. So they call for a supervisor. And it was at this point that Chief Deputy Smith paused the button and he said, now I want to let you know, we have always had in the past an SRT team. The problem is here recently, a lot of people that were on our SRT team, they have dropped out. They went other places. And so we're in a situation where we don't have many people that make up the SR. It wasn't in his cell. It was in the day room, not in his cell. You got to keep in mind, it was in the day room, in the general population area, not in his cell. SRT team is kind of like the SWAT team inside of the jail. It's the people that are trained to go in and deal with these people. Special response team that goes in and deals with these people that have extra training and use like less than lethal and stuff like that. Jeff Walls is saying that the sheriff fired the lead of the SRT team. And I have heard that from other people within Henry County law enforcement. So they got, they're short, so they don't have that. So what the chief deputy said was, because of that, when they have problems in which they would normally call in their SRT team, what they do is they call in extra guys from the road. Okay. Oh yeah. There's no excuse for what happened. I'm just walking you down a story till we get to the end of it. That's why I started out at the beginning of the story saying what happened to this guy. There was no excuse for it. 100%, 1000%. What happened to him was wrong. And I am going to do some major hating on the sheriff here in just a moment. I'm just walking you down a story. So their policy now is they call in the road guys and those that are on the SWAT team to act as their SRT. And the chief deputy said to me, I don't like doing this. This is not something that I am comfortable with. I do not like sending our road guys into the jail. We need to get in a situation where we have our own SRT back here. Okay. And I agree with him. So they call in their, they call in the jail commander, and the jail commander comes in, and the jail commander and somebody that was in the sheriff's department that is a real big burly guy, and I don't know this guy's name. They go in and talk to this guy together, and they say, hey, we need you to put that down. We need you to come with us. We're going to put you up here in a segregation, a holding cell. And he's like, no, I ain't going. And he's like, I'm not putting this down. I'm not doing this. And the guy that was the big burly guy seemed to have some kind of a rapport with this inmate. And he hired the new guy that was fired from Winchester. And it's interesting. Okay. That's interesting. I don't know who that is. That's interesting. So they go in and they talk to him a couple times, and they tell him, we need you to put this down. We need you to come with us. And they tell him, if you don't do this, we're going to come in here and we're going to make you comply. And he's like, no, you're not going to make me comply, yada, yada, yada. And they go back and forth on this. All right. It is what it is. But they end up leaving him. Now, they have now at this point called the road guys, and they're getting the road guys to come to the jail. While they do that, the big burly corrections officer walks back in and talks to him again. And because they have a rapport, he gets him to put the mop handle down, and he gets them to come with them up to the front where they're going to have this holding cell that they're going to put him in. And everything is peaceful. And I applaud them. That gentleman, the corrections officer, and I'm going to ask Chief Deputy tomorrow what his name is. I'm going to ask him what his name is, because he deserves an accommodation from the sheriff's department. What he did was amazing. They need 10 more people just like him. First of all, this dude is a big old dude. I don't understand. But he went in there and he talked him down, and they used words. They didn't go hands on, and it was great. And they walk him in here. Now, keep in mind, during this time, they're still sending road deputies to the jail. No one's called off these road deputies. All right. The sheriff is aware, and the sheriff is here somewhere at the Justice Center, but we've not seen him yet. So they walk him into this holding place. Yeah, isn't that amazing, Nicole? He did the job he signed up for. Absolutely. He did it without being violent. He did it without being aggressive. And he did it, number one, by treating this man with respect. Because it doesn't matter that the man is an inmate. He still should be treated with a level of respect. He's not an animal. He's not a piece of garbage. He is a human being. And they still should be treated with some level of respect. And so the man treated him with a level of respect. I'm getting a text message now that says that the man's name, we believe, is Steve Alston, Alston, I believe is his name. Yeah, did someone tell the sheriff there was a dance crew in the jail? He probably, yeah, right. I'm telling you, he came in rocking and rolling. So they get the guy up to the holding cell, and this is where the incident occurred. Okay, not Steve Austin, Steve Alston, Alston. So it's not the bottom line. Nobody said so. It's just it's more like it's not 316. It's like 258 or something. Steve Alston, if that's the gentleman's name, and I will find out 100% tomorrow. He gets this guy to come up to the bench. They set him down on the bench while they are cleaning out the cell that he's getting ready to go into. Okay. No, you're fine, Joey. I love it. So they're cleaning out this holding cell that they're going to put him in. And the big burly guy is talking to him. He's saying, yo, bro, why are you acting like this? Like, what are you doing? You were so cool the other day. Like, what's the problem? And here's what the inmate says. The inmate, for the first time, speaks like in a way that like we can hear him, because first they're out of that loud environment. Okay. But they also, I think it's the first time that someone actually spoke to him with a little bit of respect. And he said, listen, I respect those that respect me. And he said, they're doing me wrong. They are violating my rights. I got a constitutional right. They're locking me up more than 23 hours a day. It's illegal. It's unconstitutional to lock somebody up 23 hours a day. And he reads off this code. Now, I want to say, I don't know the code that he read off. I don't know if what he said is accurate or not. I haven't looked into that. I haven't studied a whole bunch of the codes when it comes to prisoners and jails and whatever. That's not my area of expertise or my area of even really interest, but I'm going to start looking into it because I think it's important to know. I've just never done that before. But he started reading off codes and saying codes. I don't know if what he was saying was right or wrong. Sometimes people can be right. Sometimes they can be wrong. I don't know. But he sounded like he knew what he was talking about. He was probably right. And even the chief deputy said, can't tell that he's not been in jail and been around jailhouse lawyers, which to me means he probably knew what he was talking about, because those guys have nothing but time to sit in there and read those books. So he probably was right in what he was saying. So the guy's like, well, you're going to go in here. You're not going to cause us any more problems. And they're talking, they're doing that thing. Now, I can post up. Give me 1 second, and I can show you guys. Give me a second here. I want to make these things available because I can show you. I can show you these pictures. Give me 1 second. send this to us. Okay, this is an interesting picture, and I'm gonna make sure to blow this up real big time because this is really interesting. I'm going to blow this up. Stand by 1 second. Because this is when y'all are going to start getting disgusted. And rightfully so. And I was myself. And I can tell you, it's Henry County. I'm going to be real honest. Henry County is not a safe place. I wonder if I could. Ooh. Okay. Well, we'll do it like this first. I'm going to try something here in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to show you some pictures. I think we just completely did a whole 180 on what I thought we were going to do, but that's okay. I called an audible. Peyton Manning's not the only person that can do that, folks. I can do it too. What the hell? That's not what we want. Here we go, son. This was getting confusing here. All right, look at this. So, this is the man inside the day room, and what he's doing here right now is he is using a stick, and I know it's hard to see the stick, and he's hitting this TV with it, this flat screen. He's bashing it from the front. He's bashing it from the back. He's bashing it from the sides. He's bashing it all around, all right? Kind of a dicky move. No reason to beanbag somebody, all right? This is not where he got beanbagged. This is the first area, all right? That's there, all right? All right, we move on. We move on from there. Give me 1 second here. Okay, we move on from there now to the next picture, which shows him now. You can see the stick in his hand, and you can see him hitting the TV with it a little bit better with this one. All right, you can see it with this one. All right, now we move on from here. Now, here is where he's put the stick down, and he's been moved from that room. Now, here is where he is in holding, and they're going to get ready to put him in one of these areas. This man right here is the jail administrator, the jail commander. His name is Stacy Guffey. He used to be the coroner of Henry County. He took over the coroner's office, and when Sproles took over as sheriff, Stacy left the coroner's office and became the jail commander. I have always liked Stacy. I've always gotten along with Stacy, but I'm going to be really honest. I think he might be in over his head. I think he might have thought he wanted to do this, or he could have done this, but I just don't know, man. I just don't know. I'm gonna explain to you. I'm gonna explain to we might get to see some. I'm gonna explain to you what's going on with the video here in just 1 second. I'm just kind of walking you through this dance. It's very important that we walk through this slowly. All right. So right now they're waiting on cleaning the cell up right now. They take him from this seat after they clean it up, and they take him into the cell. All right. When they take him into the cell, the very first thing that he does, okay, the very first thing that he does is he goes to the top bunk. He sees on the top bunk that at that jail, they give their inmates, if they're smokers, they give them some kind of like spitless tobacco for them to chew, I guess. I didn't know that. That's surprising to me. But apparently they get that. And he found some of that. And what he did was he walked over and he picked up that tobacco, chewing tobacco. Did they take him to the cell, or did he walk in there willingly? He walked in there willingly. He walked in there willingly. He did not have handcuffs. They did not handcuff him when they walked him there. He walked in there. He was beating his hands together, and he was, doing this, and he was carrying on. They did not handcuff him, which I was surprised they didn't do that. They did not go hands-on with him at any point. At no point in this did they go hands-on with him ever. After this, they walk him into the jail cell. He walks in of his own accord. He walks straight in. He throws some mats off of the beds, and he finds this tobacco. He takes that tobacco. He takes it over to his sink. He gets it wet. And he takes it up and he smears it up in the camera. There's a camera in there, and he smears this tobacco in the camera, and it obscures the camera in the cell, so you can no longer see inside the cell. And you hear them say something about it, but they don't. They just leave him. And then there's still like the card on the outside of the door. It says somebody else's name. The deputy takes it off, and he goes over to wipe it off and to write somebody else's name on it. And as he's wiping someone else's name on it, you hear bang, bang, bang. And what the guy's doing is he's turning around. He's putting his butt to the door. He's putting his hand on like the bunk bed, and he's mule kicking the door. Mule kick. Now listen, Sproles is a flippin' idiot, because there is no way this guy could hurt himself doing that. He could tire himself out. He could maybe hurt the bottom of his foot, maybe get sore, maybe cause himself to have shin splints or bone spurs or something. But he's not going to break his leg. Nobody else is in there. He's not kicking anyone else. He's not kicking any other inmates. He is not kicking any COs. He's not kicking any deputies. He's making some noise. And at this moment, this man became like the child that you have in your house that's in trouble, and you're like, don't do that, and he just keeps doing it. The longer you tell him to quit, and the more you mouth him and tell him to quit, the more he's going to keep doing it. You tell him, don't touch that light one more time, and the kid flips the light on. And you're like, what? Didn't I tell you to not touch that light? And he flips it off, and then he flips it on. You're like, listen, if you touch that light one more time, you're going to be in trouble. And he flips that light on. Hey, you're going to be in trouble. You know, that's what they tell people. Don't do that, because you teach your kids, and they're going to do nothing to me.
And you don't have eyes in the room.
Yeah.
So he's making noise at the door. You know exactly where he is, exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
So
He's
if my
not in there
kid's up in
hanging
his
himself.
room,
Yeah.
pitching a fit, throwing a fit,
Yeah.
I know where he is. I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
When he starts getting quiet, that's when I start to worry.
Right. If it goes dead silent in there, you're like, oh God, what's he doing? Is he making a bomb out of, fly guts and the chewing gum wrapper that he found? You know, because inmates can do stuff like that. It's really amazing. But it's just nuts what they can do. But he wasn't in there hanging himself. He wasn't in there, creating a shiv or shank out of something. He was in there kicking the door, and it's annoying. But I'm going to be honest with you. It was loud. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was a 4 or a 5, because these doors are designed to be beat and banged on. It's not like he's banging on the outside of an aluminum shed. He's not out there banging on your front door like this. He's beating on a solid steel door that's inside a solid steel frame that is inside thick ass concrete, cinder blocks. He's not playing the drums on your head, So if they would have just left him alone, he would have got tired of it eventually. But instead, that kicks them all back up into a panic. Now, literally, he was more of a threat and more dangerous and more problematic when he had the mop handle in his hand than when he's kicking this door. He was more dangerous and more of a threat with the mop handle than what he's doing to this door. So they go back to the door. They go to the door. First thing they do is they go to the door, and they're like, yo, bro, quit doing this. Now, as soon as they go to the door, these doors, they close the door, and these doors, they close one way, and then they have two little openings. They have an opening up top that you can open, and there's glass here, and you can look in and see, but there's glass. And then they have an opening down at about your belly button area, maybe a little lower, where they open it down and they can slide food trays in, or you can put your hands in and they can handcuff you and then close the door, open the door that way. So they have these openings. So they open this glass door and they're like, yo, you kicking the door, da-da-da-da-da. And at that moment, Sheriff John Sproles comes around the corner, and he's wearing these he kind of looks like Guffey here. He's wearing a black shirt. He's wearing khaki pants. He's wearing gloves, like operator gloves. He's carrying this shotgun, and he's got on this stupid helmet that's like a SWAT team helmet. But the way he wears it, and because nobody else has it, it makes it look like one of those kids that goes to the hospital doctor at a young age and they make him wear a helmet. He looks like he is in special needs, or he's got some kind of issue going on. He does not look like he fits in. But the thing that absolutely pisses me off here is he is excited, and you can tell it in this picture right here. You can see, I know this is grainy, and this is what my issue is with this, is it's grainy, But you can see that he is smiling. Chris, he violated an order from a deputy under Sproles' authority. You know, it's a federal offense in Henry County. Sproles had every right to. Yeah, right. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Joey. All right. Now I want you to look at this because I zoom in. This is the big dude I'm talking about. This guy right here, that's in the door right here. I don't know who this is. If that's that Steve Alston, I'm gonna find out what this guy is. This dude, the county should give this guy a medal. This guy talks with respect. He talks with authority, but he knows how to do his job. And I'm going to tell you, what's crazy about this is the juxtaposition that we see here. Absolutely, the thing that drives me crazy is literally every CO, every cop, everybody that we have seen here today in this video that we're going to watch and see and all this did the right damn thing. They did well, they did right, and they were good. They treated the man with respect, and they did good. Then you have Sproles. And Sproles walks in, and Sproles treats this guy like garbage. He treats him like crap. He treats him like he's not a person, and he is horrible. And this is what I hate. What I hate is the fact that the other men and women of the sheriff's department did a good job, and they were trying to do the right thing. And their fearless leader comes in, and he just completely screws it all up. Look at this next picture. All right, yeah, we'll get to it in a second. There he's looking at this guy. Now, while this guy's trying to have a serious conversation with this guy in the room here, Sproles walks up on camera and says, "You know, ain't nobody afraid of these guns." And he grabs the security guard's arms like that, and he's smiling. He's having a good old time. He's cutting up. He's making fun. He's making jokes. Totally inappropriate. Totally inappropriate. Look at him. What is he wearing that stupid helmet for? Was he going to beat his head on the what was going to happen? Watch this. Oh, it didn't make it bigger. It just isolated it. But he's smiling in this picture. I'm telling you, he's smiling. I hope you all can see it. Annie. Okay. Now, I watched this video, and I'll tell you, the thing that I thought I was listening for, the thing that I had been told that happened or was said, I did not hear, and it didn't happen. I can absolutely confirm what was said did not happen. Okay? That being said, that doesn't matter. This video, this was way worse than what it was. So after I watched this, I then said to the chief deputy, I want to see the video from inside the, I want to see the video footage from inside the cell. And he shows it to me. And then I said, okay, will you let me record that? And he said, yes. So I go out and I get my tripod and I set my tripod up to record the screen. And so basically at that point, what I'm doing is I'm in the middle of the room recording a screen it's being projected on. So now we're not just recording the digital copy. The digital copy is being projected on a screen that I'm recording, and then I've now sent it to my system, and I'm trying to play it for you guys, and it's all washed out. The other aspect was, the other thing is, the only part that I took those pictures, but I didn't think that what happened in the common day room mattered after I watched everything, because nothing happened there. They got him down there and he walked in of his own accord. So I didn't record anything down there. When I got home, I thought, you know what? I messed up. I should have, since it was that video and that video showed everything, and I proved that what I thought, what someone told me I would hear, I didn't hear, but the tape looked worse than what it was. What I should have done is I should have said, hey, I will just buy that one body camera footage for the hour and a half, however long it was. So I contacted the chief deputy back this afternoon, and I tried doing it in enough time to be able to buy it today and have it for tonight. And I said to him, hey, I want to be able to show the whole thing. He said, I understand. I said, can you please tell? I said, I'm so sorry. I know you thought this was over. He was like, no big deal. He was very cool. And so, like you said, Joey, he was very accommodating, and I very much appreciate him. He called me back, and I said, how much is it? I want to get it. He told me it's $57. So I got to spend $57 on this damn thing, but it's worth it. It's worth it to tell this guy's story. It's worth it to be truthful. It's worth it to show everything. So he told me I could pick this up tomorrow morning. So I'm going to go down there. I'm going to drop $57 on this. I'm going to be able to show you guys everything. When I got home and I started looking through all of this and putting it up on my screen, I realized, man, it's going to be hard for you guys to see and hear things. So I decided I wasn't going to show anything tonight. However, as I was going through this on my phone, I just realized I might be able, if you guys will bear with me here, to go live from my phone and screen share it from my phone. And if I can do that, then it will be absolutely, it'll be just two things not clear, and we can still do the right thing tomorrow. So do you guys want to see not clear video of this? Or do you want to wait and see the actual footage tomorrow? I guarantee you what they're going to do. I don't even know why I'm asking. Vote now. Vote 1 for wait till tomorrow. Vote 2 for play it now. Yoko says wait. Interesting. Joey says wait. Josh says sure. Oh, that's 2 for wait. Diane says 2. Eric says yes. Good Lord. Someone's going to say triangle here in a minute. Don Linker says wait. Oh, my. We can do both. I don't know what we're talking about. We're going to do both. Give me a second. I got we could do 1, then 2. We could play it now and then play it tomorrow. We could play it the next day if we wanted. All right, stand by. Here we're going to do both. Here's the thing. I want clarity. I just want to be, I want you guys to be able to see this. We've all been waiting for this for so long. We've been waiting for this for so long, and I understand. And I want to be able to tell this guy's story.
To be fair, the important part is Sproles walking in, the lead up, and Sproles' reaction to shooting the guy. And all you need to do is be able to see that bastard's face and hear him during the shooting.
Yeah, it's gross. Stand by for something play it every day until Sproles is no longer in law enforcement. All right, stand by for what might be horrible noise. I second what Joey said. What did Joey say? Oh, play it every day till he's no longer in. Stand by. Okay. All right. Okay, can you?
You had a bit of an echo going on. Sorry.
Still now? Okay, we're good. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play it through once. And I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to blow it up and let you guys watch it.
Are you jumping to the shooting part of it? That's the really important part for now.
Well,
the rest of it you can show later when it's clear.
I just want them to hear the banging just for a second. I won't play the whole thing, but I want them to be able to hear. Okay. I want them to be able to hear the banging just so they can get an impression of, like, you know, it wasn't the worst thing in the world.
Okay.
So here we go.
Camera. Yeah. They all walked out that door already. They probably heard it.
I mean, so we hear the banging is not crazy at all, you know? All right, here we go. Here comes the sheriff.
You'll get all your stuff. What? Hold up, listen. Every time you ask me to do something, have I done it? Believe me, I believe it. But every time I told you to get your stuff, I get it, right? So give me time and you'll get your stuff. But don't kick the door. Ain't nobody scared of this, right? You want to? You gonna let these other boys come in and they're gonna handle business? Come on, man. That's how you want it. Tough work. I cover his camera. Is that what you want? Did he cover his camera? He did, yes. Tell him don't cover the camera. I know this. You're not telling me I know? I know this. You're on that side, I'm on this side. I know. So if I shut this down, you're gonna kick the door soon. The only thing you can pass it. What's the difference from Thursday to today? Tell me. You still want to go this route. So if I shut the window, it's going to town, right?
Hey, you got the camera covered? Yes. Tell him to take it off. Tell him to take it off the camera.
Take the stuff off the camera, please. This ain't nothing on there. Was it already on there before that? No, the other guy won't reach him.
He splatters, he spit on it or something?
Man.
Try to clean it off better.
So, get him in. That's all I'm gonna say. Listen to me. When you want to quiet man, or just don't do this. Exactly, but that's the route we're gonna roll with. You know? I'll be back with you, bro. I'm right here, man. I'm right here. I'm going nowhere. Come on now. Hey, you kick the door again and you're going to get some rounds, okay?
Round one.
You kick it again and you're going to get another one.
Round two.
All right. 4 rounds, because we'll go over.
We'll go all night.
Kick it again, you get another one.
Muzzle flash.
We'll go all day.
Woo! We'll go all day.
You do it again, we'll go all day.
You do it again, we'll go all day. Woo! You do it again. This is fun.
Hey, get off the stool and sit up down. You kick it again, you'll get it more.
You kick it again, you'll get it more.
You don't have to bother me. Kick it again, you'll get another one. Have no bother me. Get your hands off of it.
Hey, listen. Hey, seriously. Yeah, we definitely need it.
Now they know he's bleeding, and they're like, oh, we definitely need it. Now listen here in a minute. They say, you sure that was less than lethal? It was less lethal, right? And he just said it.
Hey, sit down on the bench. Put the ball in the grave. Hey, sit down. Hey, sit down for a minute.
He's proud of what he did.
We're gonna have to make sure to cuff him up.
We'll have to make sure to cuff him up.
Put your hands out so we put cuffs on.
And then the sheriff vacates here in a minute. He leaves, and we don't see him again. He walks off. We see him walking off here, and he's not out here with the guy. He doesn't see the guy injured. He's not out. We don't see him again. He doesn't come back again. He walked out to shoot this guy, and then he walked off like the hero he is, like the big man he is.
We're gonna get you out.
He walked away because he was afraid after he shot this man that this man was going to come out and get him some. And the woman here, he didn't have a problem with that, but Sproles got out of Dodge.
No funny business, nothing. Good? Here. All right, we gotta make a move because it's. Yeah, we gotta get. Who's got the keys? We want them out here. Get on the outside. Once they open the door, take the keys. Okay. Hey, I'll put pressure on it. Put pressure on it. We'll get him. No, put pressure on it. Get the door open. Hold it right there. All right. You guys ready? Yeah. Yeah, you got one. And you know what? Hey, no, stand up. Stand up. Hold the pressure. Stand up. Stand up. Hey, stand up. Turn around.
How much blood there is in this guy's hand. I mean, he's pouring blood. I mean, look at this. This looks like a bullet wound.
Stand up. Come around. Dude. Let us help you. Let us help you. I got you. Stand up. I got you. Stand up. Here, I got you. Stand up. Lean on me.
Okay, there was that one.
Pull up the camera.
Give me 1 second here. Okay, hold on here. That's why I'm saying it's this doesn't even really honestly do it justice. Truth be told. Sproles did the first time. They're both doing it. They're both, it's both, you got egos going, and Sproles did it the first time, he did it the second time. And I know it's hard to see this. Annie, that's the thing that we're trying to determine now. If this is one of those ones that you can do it, if there needed to be a way, they're saying that this is the one that you can shoot from point blank range. Listen, I've never heard of any type of gun that it's good to shoot from point blank range, less lethal or not. That just sounds insane to me, but whatever. Wait, yeah. He says, we'll go all day. Yeah. Not we'll go until I can be certain you're not in danger to yourself. He says, we'll go all day. We'll go all day. He was shot in the leg, in the leg, in the upper leg area behind. We'll go all day. Let's watch this next one here. And then wait till you hear. Wait. Because listen, there was nothing about that in Travis Week's story. Not we'll go all day. Not kick it again. Sproles he stopped kicking the door. He shot him. He stopped. Sproles said, "Kick it again. I'll shoot you again." He kicks it again. Why wouldn't he? Sproles just told him to. That's not what you do. I'm not a cop out on the street and I'm shooting somebody and the person stops shooting at me and I don't start saying, "Hey, could you send some more rounds back my way, please? Could you send some more lead back at me? I'd like to shoot at you a few more times." No, you shoot. When the threat is done, you advance and deal with it. The guy stopped kicking the door. Well, Annie, he received 24 stitches, is what I heard. 23 to 24 stitches. Yeah, Alva. As Sproles told him to kick the door, and he did. Kick it again, and I'll shoot you again. All right, here's this. They're holding him up. They're trying to cut his pants off of him. They walk him here and they get him laid down. Look at him. Look at the blood. That's thick, red blood, spurting blood.
I'm not saying you're not tough guys. So we're gonna get you hooked up.
Pressure right here. Hey, bro. I got it. Yep, I got it.
No Sproles. Sproles never here. Sproles never comes to the scene. Sproles never stops around. He's not one of the guys waiting out and back. And let me tell you guys something. Let me tell you all something. This man right here, Guffey and Sproles, when the everyone that was around was typing their reports up, they kept telling them to bring their reports to them and they would review them. And if they didn't like something, they would make them change their report. There were several reports that had to be changed. Here in a minute, we'll go through the reports.
Yeah. Yeah. Ben, just flip it over. Yeah. Put it on his right knee. You have to about the someone said to share something. Right here.
Look at the blood on the leg. I mean, they're still applying pressure. Look at what they're doing. I mean, this is a pretty substantial wound that they're still treating it this far into it. Look, they're still treating it. We jumped ahead another minute here. Look, people are running. They're still treating it. They're still applying pressure. Look, we're jumping ahead another whole 2 minutes. They're still applying pressure. Look what's going on here. I mean, this is a pretty substantial thing we're looking at here.
these pants are shot. So.
Now they're cleaning his hands up finally. Guffey's all worried here. Oh my God, what are we involved in here? Look at everybody back here getting their story straight. Oh my God, what have we done? What have we witnessed? What in the hell just happened here? Who is driving the ship? The sheriff just shot somebody in the jail. What is going on? This is insane.
So, all right, is going up. Yes. Both. His hands are ready. Just those.
What was the point of this? They just asked him. He needs to be asking them what was the point of this. He told us we were violating his rights. Yeah.
Stop. We're going to wrap it up.
There we go. There's that one. Okay. Now here is inside the jail. Here's inside the cell. And there he puts that crap on there. And that covers it. And then they tell him to take it off. And he does take it off, but it still stays smeared. But you can't really see anything. However, you will be able to see right here. It's interesting enough. You can see. All right. Look right here. Hold on. You see this, the white part right here? It's where the light is shining on the floor. This is before the shooting. Look, before the shooting. All right? Watch what happens after the shooting. Look, here he is shot. He's bleeding. This is before they come in. I mean, you can see blood is pouring down his leg. You can see how substantial it is. Watch what happens after they get him out of here. Look how much blood when they're totally out of frame. Look how much blood is now down there in that light. I'll take it back and show you here in a minute. Okay. Look how much blood is right here in this section here. Whoops. Okay, you can see it there. Look at that area now. It's interesting from 2 at the beginning to the end. What a difference. So, I know. I bet he regrets blurring that camera. I wish that wouldn't have happened. That's the one thing. Yeah, well, okay, now, let's go and take a look at these reports, because these reports, they are every bit as infuriating. Get back here to it. Second. Yeah, why? I don't. They didn't even. I don't even think this was a situation where a taser was needed. They needed to leave him alone. All right. Here's the report. Jail incident. Here's who all responded. Guffey, Neal, Olson, Kindred, Pruitt, Sproles, Smith. Harris, Vargas, Kincaid, McIntyre, M. Guffey, Richwine. Okay. Responding officers. I don't see an Alston on there. So I don't know what the deal is with that. But, okay. So this is, Stacy Guffey. On or about 11:30 a.m. July 6th, assistant jail. Oh no, this is Smith, chief deputy. Informed me that jail staff was having another issue with inmate Marquette Neal. Lieutenant Guffey informed me that Neal was refusing to lock down after he was caught pulling wires down that were connected to a television in the block. I am familiar with said inmate, as the jail staff has had issues with Neal in the past for refusing to obey lawful commands, such as locking down when requested to do so. I'm also familiar with an incident with inmate Marquette Neal fought multiple correctional officers and inflicted injuries to those officers. After becoming aware of this issue the staff has experienced with inmate Neal, I researched his criminal history and learned that inmate Neal has an extensive criminal history that includes multiple crimes of violence. Also, according to Lieutenant Guffey, Marquette Neal is a gang member tied to the Folk Nation. Marquette Neal is listed as 6'4" and 250 pounds. Hold on here a second. Okay. As per conversation Sheriff John Sproles, Lieutenant Stacy Guffey, and I had during the last incident where inmate Neal refused to lock down, it was determined to be in the best interest of staff to not go hands-on with inmate Neal for officer safety reasons. Being that inmate Neal has a violent past, has made threatening comments to staff, and is very large in stature. Lieutenant Guffey expressed concern that his officers in the jail would likely be seriously injured by going hands-on with Marquette Neal. After being notified by Lieutenant Guffey that the pending issues with inmate Neal, I notified... oh, yeah, okay, all right. I get it. So these are the deputies' reports. I have CO's reports as well. After being notified by Lieutenant Guffey of the pending issues with the inmate, I notified Sheriff Sproles of the issue. Sheriff Sproles directed me to contact the patrol deputies on duty to come to the sheriff's office. I then contacted Captain Nate Kovacs and requested that have the on-duty shift report to the sheriff's office. Minutes later, I went back to the jail where several corrections officers and law enforcement officers from the sheriff's office had gathered. I observed that inmate Neal was now in the booking area of the jail, and those officers were gathering near inmate Neal. Within a minute or so, I observed that inmate Neal looked around at many officers and then got up from the bench and walked to the cell in the booking area, as he had been directed. The door to the cell was then secured after Neal entered. Within moments after leaving the booking area, inmate Neal began violently kicking the cell door. Well, we heard it. I don't think that was violently kicking. After coming back to the booking area, I learned that inmate Neal had placed some type of substance on the camera in the cell that obscured the camera video. Corrections Officer Steve Alston then began speaking to inmate Neal, trying to reason with him. When Officer Alston closed the window to the door, inmate Neal began violently kicking the cell door, causing the entire door to shake. Despite Officer Alston's efforts to reason with Neal and de-escalate him, inmate Neal continued to kick the metal door. Due to inmate Neal's actions, there were concerns that Marquette might injure himself by how hard he was kicking. I mean, listen to me. Additional concerns were the officers were not able to see the video due to the cell room and monitor his actions, and that he was causing a disruption in the area while inmates with mental health issues are being housed, and a disruption to a staff work area. Due to the above-mentioned reasons and the interest of managing the safety and order within the jail, Sheriff John Sproles showed him his less than lethal shotgun that contained beanbag rounds. Sheriff Sproles communicated to Marquette Neal that if he kicked the door again, he would get some rounds. Marquette Neal disregarded Sheriff Sproles and kicked the cell door. Sheriff Sproles had the port to inmate Neal's cell opened, and Sheriff Sproles then delivered a less lethal beanbag round into the cell of Marquette Neal. Neal continued to kick the door despite Sheriff Sproles' comment to stop kicking the door. After Neal continued to kick the door, Sheriff Sproles delivered another round into the cell. Neal then looked out the window and angrily growled. Rawr! Again, Sproles continued to give commands to stop. No, he didn't. He said, kick the door again, and I will shoot you again. We can go all day. Woo! He continued to tell Neal that if he kicked the door again, he would get another beanbag round. Neal continued to kick the door, at which time Sheriff Sproles delivered another round into the cell. Sheriff Sproles again commented to Neal that if he kicked the door again, he didn't say if he said, kick it again, we'll go all day. Neal disregarded Sheriff Sproles' commands. Disregarded Sheriff Sproles. No, he didn't. He followed his orders. He kicked it. He wanted to go all day. After another beanbag round was delivered into the cell, Marquette stopped kicking the door because he was bleeding out of both legs and commented on 3 occasions with angry demeanor, something to the effect of, "That don't bother me." It was discovered that Neil began bleeding from behind both legs. After Neil's violent action ceased, the cell door was opened and medical attention to control Neil's bleeding was immediately given. Neil stood up, was handcuffed, and walked while being escorted outside the cell to a bench in the booking area, where nursing staff and Detective Dave Kindred worked to control the bleeding coming from behind both legs, just behind the knee. Sheriff Sproles asked if we had EMS responding. I contacted dispatch and requested EMS at the jail to attend to Marquette Neal's injuries. Newcastle EMS arrived shortly thereafter and transported him to the hospital. Officer Allison went with EMS to supervise inmate Neal. Road patrol deputies also escorted EMS. All right. Getting transferred to the Department of Corrections due to the belief that he presents a substantial threat to the safety of others. A subsequent order was obtained from the court. Neal was transferred the following day after the above described incident. The transfer was conducted by Henry County Sheriff's Office correctional officers. So that was Josh Smith. See who this is. And let's see, Josh Smith did this on 7/11. So Smith did his report 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 days after the incident. 5 days after the incident, he did it. 5 days. I would request those reports where he supposedly injured some officers. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that too. Should have been done before the end of shift. Yeah. Let's continue on here. This next one. Let's see who did this one. This is Pruitt. Pruitt did it on the 13th. 5, 6, 7 days after. Let's see here. Officer Allison spoke with Neal for several minutes in an attempt to de-escalate the situation. Concerns were brought up that he could possibly injure himself. Listen, folks, I listened to the recording, and you might have not been able to hear it. Hopefully on the actual video I get tomorrow, you will be able to. But I was in the room. I could hear it plain as day, and I've walked a couple other people through this. I could hear it plain as day. They never talked about him injuring himself. That never came up. That's something they concocted after all of this went down. Period. Sheriff Sproles again advised Mr. Neal that he should this continue, a beanbag round would be administered via a less lethal shotgun. Mr. Neal refused to comply, and Sheriff Sproles delivered 4 total beanbag rounds to Mr. Neal's lower extremities. It should be noted that before deploying each of the 4 beanbag rounds, Sheriff Sproles would give verbal commands to stop kicking the door. No, he kept telling him to kick the door. Kick the door and I'll shoot you again. Neal, who eventually complied, was bleeding from behind his knees and was removed with the help of myself, Detective Kindred, and correctional staff. All right, let's see who else this is.
Do you have confirmation that the officers were asked to fix the reports?
I mean, I'll put it to you this way. I have confirmation that I would swear to, and yeah, but I don't have proof of that. But I have confirmation of it. Yes. Yeah. I have it to where I would believe it. I do believe it. I wholeheartedly know it, but I don't have evidence to show to you guys. That's generally how that works. Unfortunately. Okay, let's look on here. Okay, this is Kindred. I'm more interested because these are people who all came in afterwards. Man, this is quick. His was quick. Beanbags all impacted the back of Neil's legs, one above his left knee, one above his right knee, one below his left knee, one below his right knee. The 2 impacts below the knees broke the skin and began bleeding. The lower impact on Neil's left leg was the deepest and began bleeding heavily. Once Neil saw the blood, he quit kicking the door and began applying pressure to the wound. I instructed him to sit on the bench, which he did. We then grabbed a towel from the jail medical staff, and I held pressure on the wound and on his left leg as he was handcuffed and moved to booking area. Once there, he was laid face down on the bench so his wound could be treated by jail medical staff. I told him medics were en route to tend to his wounds, and he replied, "That's fine. Round 2 when I get back." Oh, round 2 when I get back. No date and time when he got done with his report. Oh, yep. No, sorry. He didn't give us a date and time. Well, that sucks. Wait, hold on a second. Let me see here if he says. Yeah, no, he didn't give us a date and time. Okay, yeah, this will be good. Here is this is John Sproles. On Thursday, the 6th, 2023, at approximately 11:30 a.m., Henry County Sheriff John M. Sproles was on duty and in the administrative area of the Henry County Sheriff's Office. Assistant Jail Commander Stacy Guffey approached me and told me that an inmate identified as Marquette Neal was being destructive and refused to obey orders and refusing to lock down. Stacy also advised me that we absolutely do not want to go hands-on with Marquette, no matter how many staff we have to do so. Stacy advised me that per his daily interactions with Marquette, he is concerned that staff or Marquette could be seriously injured if we attempt to try and force Marquette to comply by physical hands-on intervention. To my knowledge, to this point, I had never seen or met Marquette. However, I have been approached multiple times by the assistant jail commander and have been advised by other staff that Marquette is a very violent person and regularly refuses to comply with lawful orders and regularly attempts to intimidate our corrections officers. I have been told that he attempts to draw our corrections officer staff into physical altercations. Stacy Guffey has called me in multiple times, along with the entire road division in previous months, due to Marquette refusing to obey orders and damaging jail property and threatening our corrections officers. I've been advised multiple times that Marquette in the past has fought multiple corrections officers at a time and has injured them in the process. I also had been advised that Marquette has a violent criminal history, including armed robbery, carjacking, resisting law enforcement, battery on law enforcement officer, and residential entry. I had understood Marquette to be 6 foot tall and 250 pounds. I advised Stacy to make it perfectly clear to Marquette that he absolutely must comply to all lawful orders, and that I absolutely will not go hands-on with him in order to force him to comply. I told Stacy to make it perfectly clear to Marquette that if we had to intervene in order for him to comply, I personally would deploy less lethal beanbag rounds in order to do so. What is this? Why? What kind of weird, what is the deal with Captain Hard on here? I don't understand. I personally would deploy less lethal beanbag rounds in order to do so. I told Stacy to make certain that he understands that I am in no way joking with him and that I will not allow him to injure our staff or injure himself. Stacy then left to talk with Marquette, and I went to my vehicle to secure my less lethal beanbag deployment equipment, including my helmet. Hey, John, I feel like you probably should wear that helmet 24 hours a day, bro. All right? Specifically when thinking, you might hurt yourself. When I returned to the administrative area with my equipment and my helmet, at some point, Stacy returned, and after telling me I looked like a fool, he told me that he told Marquette all that stuff I told him before like an idiot, and that Marquette was still not complying and refusing to lock down. I told Stacy to go back and try one more time to get him to comply while I checked myself out in the mirror and told myself what a badass I look like. And I made sure that the road officers and detectives could arrive so they could see me in my neat little cop helmet. I then went back into the jail area, and as I was going into the jail area, I saw a mirror and said, "Oh my God, there is a sexy cop." I was advised that Marquette had agreed to come into the front booking area and to be put in a cell by himself where we could more closely monitor him. The cell is not a padded cell and has steel bunk beds and a steel door and concrete walls. I was disappointed because I didn't think I could shoot him with my cool helmet on. I then heard Marquette kicking the door with violent force, and I thought, helmet time, activate. In so much so it seemed to rattle the intensity. In so much, what is he saying here? I then heard Marquette kicking the door with violent force. In so much that it was seeming to rattle the entire block wall. I observed one of our corrections officers named Steve standing in front of the glass window telling Marquette that he has to quit kicking the door or he's going to have to go into a padded cell. To my recollection, Marquette refused to quit kicking the door and told Steve something to the effect that he will kick the door all day long. And if he goes to the padded cell, he will tear the padded cell apart and kick that door as well. I then stepped up to the window and displayed my head, my helmet, and my less lethal deployment equipment. And I told him that he cannot kick the door one more time. If he does, I will deploy my beanbag round. I would also fire my less lethal too. It was my sole intent that I would not allow Marquette to continue kicking the door, as I was concerned that he would possibly severely injure my ego and his ankle or leg, as he was wearing only flip-flops for shoes. Dude, that seems exactly like what you would want someone to kick a door in. Like, thank God he wasn't wearing steel-toed boots or something. Like, he ain't gonna kick that door long with flip-flops. Are you for real? Marquette then replied to me something to the effect of, "Bring it on, helmet man." Then he turned around and he kicked the door as hard as he could. And I told him, one of the corrections officers, to open the cuff port of the door, as I squealed like a little piggy, and I knelt down and deployed one beanbag through the cuff port that contacted his left hamstring. Ooh, his hamstring. It was very obvious that Marquette did not even flinch after this deployment. He then said something to the effect of, "Is that all you got?" After years of hearing that from literally every one of my lovers, I then told him that if he kicked the door one more time, he would get another teeny weeny beanbaggy. And he kicked the door again as hard as he could. I then knelt back down and deployed another beanbag through the cuff porthole. Ooh. This beanbag contacted his right hamstring area. He visibly did not flinch at all again after this deployment. Marquette then said something to the effect of, "That don't bother me, boy." I then told him to not kick the door. Man, oh man. No, you never told him to not kick the door, Sprolesy. You told him to kick the door, or he would get another beanbag deployment. He then turned around and he kicked the door again as hard as he could. I deployed another beanbag that contacted his upper left calf area. He then turned around at some point and beat his chest with both fists. I told him not to kick the door again and to not come over, or to come over and put his, what? That never happened. I told him to come over and not kick the door, and to come over and put his hands out of the cuff port so we could cuff him and take him to the padded cell. That did not happen. He then kicked the door as hard as he could again. And I then deployed one more beanbag that connected to the very upper calf area of his right leg. I told him to put his hands out the cuff port so we could handcuff him. He then looked through the cuff port and told me, "That don't bother me, boy. That don't bother me." I told him not to kick the door again, and he did not kick the door again. I stepped away from the door, smiling and feeling all high and hot and bothered. And another officer then stepped up to do actual police work without a cool helmet and realized that Marquette's legs were bleeding. I said, "Quick, get him medical attention immediately. Huzzah!" Our jail staff immediately gave him medical aid as I hid in my room and pleasured myself. The jail nurse was there and several staff members, but I was not. It appeared that 2 rounds had broken the skin and he was bleeding from the back of the leg area. After assuring medical attention was being given to him, that an ambulance was on the way, I went back to the administrative area. I feel like you've got this a little out of whack here, Johnny. You split tail there quickly. I was later advised that Marquette had received 8 stitches in the back of his left leg, 2 stitches in the back of his right leg. I was also advised that Marquette said, "I will be back for round 2," as he was getting into the ambulance. In the early afternoon on the same day, our jail administrative staff requested a court order from the jail to have Marquette removed from our facility and remanded to the Department of Corrections due to his violent nature. A judge signed the order, and our Henry County Sheriff's Office transport team transported Marquette to the Department of Corrections in Plainfield, Indiana, later that same evening. That's weird. I thought it happened the next day. Nothing further to report at this time. I am still wearing my helmet, though. And he wrote this a whopping 8 days after it happened. That is completely unacceptable. I bet he was wearing his helmet when he wrote it, though. That's wild. I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. Who's this? Austin Richwine. What? He didn't say anything extra. Extra. All right, let's see what this guy said. When did he write his report? He didn't tell us. He didn't tell us either. Oh, this is Guffey. Right. Guffey's report is really long. And you notice this date down here, folks? 7/21/23. That's the date they complied. That's the day they printed these off and gave them to me. I requested these reports. The day after. Okay. I'm looking at some of your but he continues to destroy. Oh wait, what's Gia saying here? Is Gia having fun? I don't know. If something happens weird, if something's happening weird here in the comments, y'all know what to do. All right, let's look at Guffey's day. I mean, look how long. I wonder how long Guffey looked at this video, all the videos. Let's look at Guffey's date and time. When do you think Guffey did his report? See, isn't this weird? Guffey says that the guy was transferred the next day. Shouldn't the sheriff and the jail commander be on the same page of when an inmate was transferred out of their jail? Shouldn't there not be a confusion on that? That's confusion. That's a problem. But let's look at when Guffey did his report. He did his report on 7/21. 11 o'clock. All right, 11:45, like 11:45 a.m. on July 6th is the first round that Marquette got. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry, I was counting clockwise. Sorry. Start again. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 15 days. 15 days after the incident happened, Lieutenant Guffey does his report. That is not acceptable, folks. That is just not acceptable.
Is it because it took him 2 weeks to get it right for Sproles?
Yeah. Yeah, Alexis, I bet you're right. Yeah. If you're worried about those tax dollars, wait till you hear the crazy shit that this dude is trying to do. This Sproles cat is literally getting ready to turn the budget on their head. Sproles wants to give one of his guys a $41,000 raise. 41. He wants to give one guy $41,000 as a raise. He wants them to buy like 10 cars at $120,000 per car. He wants to include millions of dollars in the lawsuit fund because he plans to be sued by literally everybody. You need to come on down here sometime and we can have a real serious talk about this dude and your tax dollars, because this guy is out of control. There is nothing like it.
Didn't Brandon already do that? He did a pretty fabulous job covering.
Matter of fact, I literally just loaded it to the channel last night.
Did? Oh, fantastic!
It's not up and play it, but it will be this evening.
Awesome. If you haven't seen the budget meeting, you really need to. Brandon did an incredible breakdown of the budget work meeting where Sproles was in attendance. So you'll want to check that out for sure.
I'm getting ready to tell you guys this. Any major video with major news that we put a lot of work into on the Old Bastards channel that was a Bilbrey Live, we are uploading to this channel in its own playlist. It's going to be wonky because it's going to tell you to go to the bastardsofpolitics.com and all that shit. So you're going to have to understand that shit's just going to be wonky. I hate when stuff's like that because you know how I am, how asinine I am making stuff look fitting. It's just going to be what it's going to be, but we're going to put it in its own little playlist, and people are going to be able to, because there's videos that people need to see, like all of the bus videos. The bus videos, they're currently nowhere to be found right now. The Sproles in the bus, the Sproles and Humphrey, any of my breakdown videos of Sproles, the Caddis stuff, all of that stuff is right now nowhere. It's out there in nowhere land. So we're going to be putting it up here for everyone to see so people can see it. Yeah, I don't know, Stumblefoot News. You tell me. So there are corrections officers reports too, but I can tell you, really, there's no reason to go through them. I've been through them. I've had other people through them. They're basically just a spitting image of what we've seen here. We are 100% positive that they got together and they help each other with this. This was like it was like a group event. Police reports are not supposed to be like that, and police work's not supposed to be like that. Those guys shouldn't have been huddling like that and getting their story straight. They should have all been separated out, doing their own reports, doing that thing. But it is what it is. I mean, the fact that it took 15 days for Guffey to do a report. And that's the Thin Blue Lang, the thin blue gang, Thin Blue Line gang, Thin Blue Brown, County Brown. Just absolutely crazy. Just absolutely crazy. Yeah, that's the thing. I knew that he wasn't actually. I don't know why he was being held in Henry County. I don't know if it was like an out of state or out of county assist situation. I don't really know. I mean, look, the guy's got a pretty long rap sheet. All right, let's be honest. His DOC history, it's not pretty. This guy's not been a good dude. I mean, listen. Let's be honest. He has lived a criminal lifestyle. I when people do wrong, they should go to jail and they should go to prison. And there are things that, maybe people need some counseling. Maybe people need this or that. There's various things for different people. It should all be very case-by-case basis, see what goes on. No any other two people are alike and yada, yada, yada. That being said, this guy has lived a life. Should John Sproles have beanbagged him that day? Absolutely no. No. Not at all. Not at all. What Sproles did was wrong. Sproles was happy about it. Absolutely, Tim. They still have rights. They are not animals. They did not deserve this. He is a human. He deserves a certain baseline level of respect. He deserves to be treated like a human. He does not deserve to be unduly punished. And I'm telling you, Alexis, absolutely. It was a pure bucket list item for Sproles. I think wearing that helmet, shooting that little beanbag, I'm telling you, man, I know he had a little Woody, man. I'm telling you. He seemed like he was just a little too excited about what was going down with the getting down. I'm telling you. He did not seem something seemed up. Because oh boy, he seemed pretty excited. Whoops. Oh, wait, hold on. I can show you. I forgot where it was. Here we go. What was the post-conviction release hearing? Yeah! He went home and said to his wife, lean over the bed now, start kicking the door. Yeah. That's Lore Calca. That's a kind of a neat name. Look here, we're getting ready to wrap this up, but I want to just show you this one more time. I feel like it deserves to be looked at. I feel like this picture says it all, folks. Marquette was there for post. Okay, yeah, that's right. He might have been, however, his county might have had overflow. His county might have been over. I think that's what I heard. I think he was back for post-conviction relief, and that his county was on overflow, so they were at Newcastle jail. I think that's what happened there. I think the 2 times that he's been in Henry County has been for that reason. He's like, don't send me to Henry County no more. No matter what I do, don't send me to Henry County. I'll do whatever I can do. I'll do whatever you need me to do. Do not send me to Henry County. I'm telling you, it is not good. Henry County is a scary place. And I'm telling you, if you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're a white, if you are black, Henry County is a scary area. But I'm going to tell you right now, we are getting a picture here that's starting to not look very pretty. And I hate to say this, and I don't talk like this normally. I don't say things like this normally, unless I'm for damn sure that it's true and what's happening. Henry County is a very scary place for people of color. I've got friends in Henry County that live there that are people of color, and it's scary, man. It don't matter if you're a woman, if you're a man. Sproles, I don't know what the deal is. Listen, I'm not going to say that he's racist, because I think Sproles is just a dick across the board. All right? I think Sproles is just flat out a dick. I think he hates everybody. I think unless you're his person, he's not down with you. And he thinks it, you know what I mean? If he thinks he's above you, and he thinks he's above a lot of people, he treats you like trash. But I would be very scared to be a person of color in Henry County. Now listen, I'm going to say this. Yeah, back up. Yeah, he would just be held in Henry County, and then when he would go to court, he would then go back to court. That's all I'm saying is so the post-conviction relief being out of Marion County, maybe Marion County Jail was just overfilled when he got sent back there, and so they sent him to Henry County, and then when it would be time for him to go to court, he would go back to Marion County. That is exactly what that is. That happens all the time. Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, he's smiling. He's smiling. And I'm going to tell you this right now. This ain't nothing. When you see the picture tomorrow, when you see the clear deal, you guys are going to freak. You guys are going to flip out. I got a picture to show you all. Hold on. I just can't get out. I honestly can't stop looking at this. It's seeing him smile is sick. Look at this. I'm telling you. We didn't know Henry County had a hero. Anyone kicks a door, Sproles grabs his shotgun and helmet. Oh my God. Oh, yes, good. I'm glad Gia is back. All right, let's rock and roll. Now I'm here to see this. This is great. You're dogging Sproles, but why are we okay with the offender's behavior? He is disrespecting the officers and jail property, so why does he deserve respect back? He lost his rights once he broke the law. Whoa! Whoa! What are you talking about there, bro? You don't lose your right. You lose some aspects of your rights. You don't become a piece of just trash that people can throw you. You can't be spit upon. You can't just be punished. You cannot have undue and excessive punishment. You don't lose your rights. You might have a temporary suspension of some of the ability to exercise some certain rights, and for felonious arrest, you might lose the ability to, enjoy your Second Amendment right. But you need to be real careful with that just losing everything. And okay, bro, yeah, let's. I don't know. Did you slip out when I was saying this guy's a criminal? He's lived a life where he's done bad things. And as a criminal, he needs to be punished. He needs to be taken before a jury that is a jury of his peers or a judge. And the prosecution needs to get up and a defense attorney needs to be there for him. They need to adjudicate the case, and whatever occurs, occurs. And if he is guilty, found guilty, proven guilty, if he pleads guilty, then he should be punished. And in my opinion, people should be punished harshly for crimes. I feel like if the punishment was a little harsh, specifically on the first couple of times, maybe it wouldn't be so much recidivism. That being said, when we look at what occurred, he was being disrespectful, and then he stopped, and then he complied, and everything was cool. And then he was taken to the holding, and he was cool. He walked in, he was cool. He was kicking a door, bro. He was kicking a door. All right? He couldn't have broken the jail. He wasn't going to damage anything. Yeah, he wiped that crap up in the camera. Not really cool. Yeah, it probably needs to come down. Seems like this guy might have some mood fluctuation, because it seems like they were talking to him about him being cool one day and then not cool the next. So it seems like something's going on there. You know, I get it. I understand. Yeah, he does. Listen, I stand with you 1000%. He needs to be punished for everything wrongdoing that he does. So does Sproles and anyone else that does those wrongdoings. Absolutely. There's lots of things to also to dog Sproles for. Hey, Gia, have you watched the bus video? Have you watched Sproles when he was out on the bus? What do you think about this? You're concerned about rights. And for the record, because I know that you're going to be like, oh, listen to this. This guy's a left-leaning liberal loony whack job. No. I am a right-leaning constitutional conservative. Used to consider myself a Republican. I don't anymore because the Republicans are a joke. I consider myself to be a right-leaning libertarian. Constitutionally minded, liberty-minded individual. You seem concerned with rights and such. Are you concerned that the sheriff is violating my First Amendment rights? as we sit here. As we sit here today, the sheriff has been violating my First Amendment rights since July 10th. Are we aware? Are we aware that the sheriff is violating lots of his citizens' First Amendment rights? You seem like you're a citizen of Henry County. Are you aware? You said it, Stumblefoot. I'm an American. I've been on here a long time, though, so we got to get ready to wrap her up. But I would ask if you want to come on. You want to come on and debate this tomorrow, Gia? If you want me to throw you a link, I'll throw you a link tomorrow, and we can come on and have the big Sproles and the rights debate. Yeah, listen to this. They're literally in the budget process right now, and this entire county is worrying about trying to budget more money for next year because they are worried about all of the lawsuits that this guy is going to get his community in. The federal government is also in some way investigating this. I want to make sure that I have thrown that out there. I've not said that, I think, in this episode yet. This is under investigation somehow in the federal investigation. This is in some kind of federal investigation. That grinning. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change it. Oh, Kate said it. I know. I need to change today's description and the thumbnail and everything. I've never had a show one time before, the Mexican Free Press show, where I've had to totally go in and revamp it. So, this show was so strange. It was so strange we might have to do it all again tomorrow in a little bit better lineup. Better way. Man, I still got that stupid debate, too. Damn it. I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, nor Libertarian. I'm an American first with the Constitution in my back pocket.
To be fair, this was more fun than watching
it. It was more fun. Hey, none of those people are going to be president. That's the thing. That's the bottom line. I just saved you all that time. None of those people are going to be president. So they're not going to be president this next go, and they're not going to be president. None of those people. None of DeSantis might be one day, but not anytime soon. And Vivek could be cool, but I think people are too weird about his name. I like it, but it is whatever. I have one that I'm waiting on. Jesse Ventura did a great interview with Graham Alexander. Absolutely, Joey. Absolutely. All right, folks. Hey, I'm going to get ready to run off here. I just want to let you guys know, listen to me. I'm getting ready to start uploading a buttload of videos. It's going to be in the same way that we did with, it's going to be in the same vein as what we did with Brandon's videos. How Brandon's playlist, because we're not doing all of the different playlists here with different shows. Anytime Brandon and I are live, it's going to be under this this thing, which is called this playlist is called the Political Spotlight Show live commentary. Then Brandon's playlist for his Rudd's Room shit from the Bastards is 2023 Indiana State Legislative Happenings with Brandon Rudd. If he does more legislative updates between now and then, between now and the end of the year, they might go there. But after this year, nothing else will ever be in that. If it ends with 9, it ends with 9, but that'll just always be that. I'm going to have a playlist on here that says East Central Indiana Politics 2022 to 2023, and any of the Bilbrey lives that were relevant will be there. So you'll be able to start watching all of those shows again. You'll be able to start sharing the bus stuff. You'll be able to start sharing all the other Sproles stuff. So be looking out for it because it's going to be uploaded real soon. All right, folks. Thank you, sir. In the words of Mark Neal, thank you, sir. May I have another? Oh my God. Yeah. Hey, that don't hurt me. Listen. I gotta give it to him for standing his ground, kicking that door, man. I'm telling you, don't kick no doors in Henry County. Got to do a special episode on what Holcomb is doing to protect our southern border. What's he doing to protect our southern border? I'll do a special episode all about that. That'll be interesting. Good Lord. All right, folks. Hey, the postscript for tonight. Just want to let you know, if ever you're having a little bit of a hard time in the bedroom out there, fellas, just remember, all you need, our southern border from Kentucky, is a helmet and a less lethal 12-gauge shotgun, and then you too can get the job done. All right, folks, I want you all to have a good evening. God bless each and every one of you. Good night, and I will see you all again tomorrow. Goodbye. Kill it. Listen, we did a show last night, and Joshua Kimbrell shared it to his channel. Literally, it was a Bilbrey Live. All he did was share the damn thing. And that thing has 136 likes. And let me tell you where we're at right now. Let me tell you, this is how secure I am in who I am in the world. So y'all know it ain't about the clicks and views here. Nobody. 136 views over there for live streaming, just live streaming a show. 992 views. So hit the like. If you're in here watching it, for the love of God, hit the like, hit the bell, subscribe, share the show. Thank you all, everybody. Good night.